Welcome DECA members. We hope that each video in this series helps you to excel as DECA competitors. In this video, we are going to give a brief overview of preparing for business operations research events. Much of the information here can be applied to other written event categories. As always, make sure to consult your advisor and please read the DECA guide and check the DECA.org website for details, information, and instructions. These business operations events are great for students who like to do research and like to plan ahead. These events take time and energy and also allow students to work alone or up to 2 other students in a group. There are 5 events under this competition category. These events all have specific focuses in marketing and business. These are also core components of business structure. Students who choose one of these events will connect with a business that fits the description to conduct their research. Please see your advisor for support on how to make those connections. Many students have those connections through family members, and that creates a great opportunity to conduct all the necessary research and apply the solutions to the problem presented in these events. Let's get started. As stated earlier, these events can have 1, 2, or 3 team members working together to complete the required research, reporting, and presentation. The written paper for this event can be up to 20 pages, but cannot exceed this page limit. There are penalties for exceeding page limits on written event entries. The written paper is worked on primarily in the fall and up to the submission date. On the day of competition, the team will give an oral presentation to the judges sharing their research and plan for the business operation they have worked on hard to analyze. The team has 15 minutes to do the presentation, and all members must have speaking parts. Each year, National DECA chooses a topic that guides the research for the students. Students can find this topic in the DECA guide and on the DECA.org website. All research conducted will be focused on this topic area. The research. Students will pick an actual business that is operating legally and locally to research. This can be a large or small business. Students should make sure that they will have enough access, content, and opportunity to create a plan for the business they are researching. Students will then design and conduct a research study. It is best to ensure that you have multiple modes to conducting your research. Make sure to review your textbook for some of these modes. Surveys, focus groups, and interviews are common methods that are used to conduct research. Once students have gathered the data, they will analyze the data for important information to create a plan for the business focused around the annual topic. Students will begin formulating their plan and writing their research paper. The written document has very specific guidelines listed in the DECA guide and on the DECA website. This image is a snapshot of that. All written papers must follow this format. Those which do not will receive penalty points. We often say that the DECA guide is the Bible for DECA as it is so essential when working on competitive events. It is truly a great tool to help you. You can also view sample winning projects on the DECA website, and your advisor may have purchased former winning written manuals from Shop DECA. These can be used to help you with formatting, flow, and length of each section as well. Each section of the paper has a rubric that supports it. Students should review this rubric and even score their work both individually and as a team. The written paper is 60 points of the team's total score in competition, and every point matters. Once students have completed their written project, they or their advisor will upload the document to the competition site for the judge to read and score the paper. For Connecticut DECA, this document is often due at the end of January. Please ask your advisor for the appropriate due date. Team members will not know the score until after all components of competition are complete. On the day of the state competition, generally held in early March, students will present their research and plan for the business. During the presentation, it is essential that students address the major elements of their research, study, and plan. Students should make sure they assume the role they have been given in the event, as well as the judges. Students should practice the presentation multiple times following the guidelines. A snapshot of them is here, but you can find them online and in the DECA guide. Just as the written event element has, the presentation also has its own rubric. Students should score themselves after multiple practices of their presentation. The presentation is worth 40 points, and all team members must have a speaking role. Research projects take time. Students should begin seeking their partners and begin their research as soon as they have decided what competitive event they want to participate in. Years ago, there were t-shirts sold by DECA Inc. that said, "DECA is my sport." This is still a great shirt, and it is the best motto and value that students should follow that seek to be successful at the state and national level for DECA. Students should feel as if they are an expert, and all members of the group should be well versed in all aspects of the research and presentation. Students who are willing to make the commitment to DECA and their competitive event have greater odds of making the stage at the state or at the national level. The skills learned through the research project transfer well to collegiate and professional lives. When preparing your presentation, there are many tips that team members should follow. Here are just a few. Often teams will also ensure that they are coordinating with color scheme on ties and blouses. Presenting for classmates, teachers, parents, and friends and family is also a good way to ensure that you are comfortable with your speaking parts and you gain the most confidence speaking in front of others. These presentation skills are also great skills that transfer to future aspects of adult life. Visual aids. We strongly encourage students to work with advisors regarding visual aids for their competitive event. Make sure that the visual aids used represent the key elements to the presentation and enhance the verbal presentation. The visual aids should not just repeat what the presenter is saying, they should expand on the elements of the research. Make sure that your visual aids are not too overwhelming and follow guidelines to keep them easy to read and follow. Visual aids should always be professional, and although having great accents is important, please make sure they do not take away from the project when creating visual aids. The key to success in any competitive event is to fully commit to the project and continue to practice. You should practice often and out loud. Your team should be meeting consistently to discuss the research project you are working on. Set a timeline and due dates and allow yourself enough time to complete each component of the research project and master the elements of the written paper and presentation. Create a checklist and stay organized. Meet with your advisor and seek advice from them and your teachers. They are all happy to help and support you. In finality, here are some presentation tips to knock your presentation out of the park. We have shared these tips at the end of every video that we have created thus far because they are important for every competitive event DECA has to offer. Make sure you use a proper and formal greeting when you begin your presentation. Remember, you and the judge are playing characters in this event, and you should make sure you are addressing each other as such. Make sure to maintain eye contact when expected throughout the presentation. Pace yourself. Part of the practice is to help you learn to pace yourself and not rush through what you have to say. Use your full time, but make sure that you also have given yourself enough time to get through all of the elements of your research and the rubric. You should also leave time to answer any questions presented to you by the judge. Take pause. There is nothing wrong with taking a pause to get yourself back into focus when presenting your research. Take a moment to review what you have said to yourself and allow yourself time to get back on track with your presentation. Be real. By following current trends and information that is happening within the worlds of business, as well as reading trade journals and magazines, you have the opportunity to ensure that you are real. The judge will advise you if you are running close to the end of your time limit. Make sure you know and use your appropriate terminology related to the topic of your role play. Illustrating the terms that professionals use or that align with your role play is essential and will help you to score higher when evaluated. And last but not least, stay confident. No matter what, stay confident. Do not give up on yourself. What you are doing with little to no real professional experience is a feat in itself. Continue to illustrate confidence throughout your whole presentation, even if you make a mistake. We are not perfect. We at Connecticut DECA hope that you find some of these tips helpful, and we can't wait to see you on the podium at our state competition. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being part of the best student organization nationwide.